Hello, dear friends. Here we are. One more day in our 21 days of inner empowerment, redefining money. Yes, we are redefining money, studying it, trying to understand from a different perspective money. From the book, Money, Emmanuel's the author, the medium, Chico Xavier. If you're not familiar with either the author or the medium, you can get a hold of it by going to the website of the Spiritist, the United States Spiritist Council, where you can buy Spiritist Federation, where you can buy the book and also get to know more information about both the author and the medium of the book. Today we're studying happiness. Studying happiness, of all things. Who thinks of studying happiness besides scientists, right? And we don't think Emmanuel is actually talking about studying from a scientific perspective. No, not in the lab. He's talking about the science of the spirits. Let us study happiness, because that's also a way we're going to redefine money. Money and happiness, it's all about how we can actually redefine the use of money to actually find happiness. How about that? Right, my friend? So here we have an opportunity for all of us to study in this book. As Emmanuel says in the preface of the book, money is also of God. Yes, from God. And yesterday, when we're studying before God and Caesar, Emmanuel clearly told us that the world does not belong to Caesar. It belongs to God. That you are also of God. We are children of God. And the question is, do we feel it? Do we feel that we are of God? Or do we think we are, but we cannot actually feel? Does it make a difference when we feel? Oh yes, it makes a huge difference. So we need to practice feelings in these therapeutic conversations. As Jesus said in the passage with Nicodemus, why, sir, can't I get to ever, besides studying, this kingdom of God? And Jesus replied, Nicodemus, you forgot to feel the scriptures, because it's not enough to know them. Before we begin it all, we would like to say hi to our community, and as we do so, we will begin the reading of the passage of today, okay? Beautiful community, how are you? Andrea Torres, hello. Lea Severo, hello Lea. Bianca Castro Braga, beautiful mom. Jussara, how are you? And Erica, dear cousin, how are you? And Sunshine, how are you? Katya, I was just practicing pronouncing your name. Yoshkak, am I right? Please correct me. Angelita de Paula, how are you? Constance Franklin, Valéria Benfica, Benfica, forgive me, sorry friends. We also benefit from your presence, Constance, believe it or not. It's very important each one of us stay connected. We're entering this frequency of constructive mental currents, and when we do so, we not only benefit personally, but we also benefit others. We join this constructive thinking power in our planet, which is so important. Hello, Rihanna. Rihanna, how are you? And thank you for the confirmation, Katya. Hello, Aloysio. Today, we're studying chapter 9. Chapter 9 of the book Money by the Spirit Emmanuel through Chico Xavier, the medium. Before we begin, though we don't formally say a prayer, we'd like to remind everybody that before we begin, we say a prayer, and then we begin. But it's a moment for deep reverence. We cannot spare a minute of our precious lives without being reverent to life, to God. It's very windy here. I can see from my window. So it's a reminder that we are alive, and we are alive in this beautiful universe. And of all things we could be studying, we're studying happiness. You may ask, why happiness? Because often people think money equals to happiness. And Emmanuel invites us to study it. It's not enough to talk about it. He invites all of us to study. And study means dissect the topic and see the different parts of it, like a scientist, so we can come back to the very question and to the conclusion. Studying happiness. Few paragraphs that can change our lives forever. Watch carefully what you wish for and what you do, so you can safely evaluate the happiness that you seek. Let us also make sure that our joy has many levels. Thus, above all else, it is on us to cultivate devotion to broader and more substantial values, which will survive with us in the greater life, in the world. Happiness varies according to an individual's position. If we seek Christ as our master, it is indispensable to know how to conquer the joy of living in the climate of supreme good. There are people who are content with the exclusive comfort of eating, sleeping, and procreating. So they retain the same happiness that is also experienced by the simplest beings in nature's lower kingdoms. We see shrewd spirits enjoying the calculation and accumulation of gold and utilities to the disadvantage of others. Thus, they establish for themselves the same happiness as a madman. We observe companions of humankind rejoicing only when displaying sumptuous titles within the social or economic order, thereby crystallizing themselves in vanity or pride, which facilitates a spectacular descent to death, thus forging to their detriment the happiness of fools. We identify brothers and sisters who only honor themselves with cruelty, who smile at others' misfortune, and who boast of unfelt compassion. Thus they build for themselves the happiness of those who settle in the purgatory of their own conscience. However, Christian happiness is different. It is born from the joy that we sow for others. It is developed through indefatigable goodness. It is sprouts from the spirit of service. It blooms from hope. It gives fruit to those who in sacrifice offer themselves for the materialization of general happiness. Do not delay yourself in pleasures that arise laughter today, so that you do not enclose yourself in bitter penitence tomorrow. Excuse me. Seek the happiness of Jesus which is not yet fully realized in this world, so that this world may rise up toward perfect happiness. Therefore, do not despise your cross, because only through the performance of our obligations and in doing good will, we will find our true victory. Every chapter is a box of surprises for us, like a box of chocolate. But for immortality, can you imagine a box of chocolate for immortality, unperishable? Yeah, that's what it is. These beautiful messages by Emmanuel, they are much more than just beautiful. They are true opportunity for us to study ourselves. When he talks about studying happiness, he's saying, let's study our own destination. Happiness equals to our destination. When the scriptures talk about kingdom of God, it means happiness. It means this state of peace within. Exactly. So when we're talking about studying happiness, we're talking about the goal of our lives. But what is happiness? What is happiness for you? What is happiness for us? Let us be sincere with ourselves. Hello, Sol. Hello, Melissa. And welcome in, friends. Studying happiness begins very practically. Emmanuel, in this message, it's a beautiful pocketbook that really gives us straightforward guidance. Emmanuel, in a very pragmatic way, doesn't waste words. He's very to the point. Hello, Hercules. Watch carefully for what you wish for and what you do, so that you can safely evaluate the happiness you seek. In the book Action and Reaction, there is a beautiful chapter, many beautiful chapters, but a beautiful case of this obsession. And André Luiz discloses to us something that is unprecedented and goes hand in hand with this. That each one of us usually have a central theme of desire, a central wish, a main desire in our lives. And Emmanuel in this lesson tell us that we should be watchful, careful what we wish for. What is our main wish in this life? Do you know? You don't need to disclose to us. But let us think together in a therapeutic moment. What is it that we are aiming at? What is our main, central, our main wish? What is it? I remember a friend of mine. She dreamt of getting to her PhD. She worked hard and hard and hard and hard. She graduated. But then, life goes on. And I remember she's sharing this beautiful insight. Sad but beautiful, because from there on, she realized she had to change her thought. She said, I've always dreamt of this day to the point that I don't know what to do next. My life could end today, and I will be fine. But I said, your life didn't end today. And actually, life goes on. What do you do? And he said, I don't know. But out of survival, she realized she had to work. So she decided to take on a postdoctoral position. But funny enough, any invitation she got, any to do something that would go beyond the job description of her PhD student life, which was over because she graduated. She was invited to give lectures. She was invited to write grants. And she would say, no, that's not for me. To the point that she almost, for this much, stopped her career. When she realized that she was going to never progress in her career if she kept going that way, she realized, I better get a new goal in my life or I'm not going to be able to go on. Watch carefully what you wish for. Some things seem to be very noble, like getting a PhD. But if that's the ultimate goal, like getting married, having a child, no matter how noble they are, if they are somewhat passing, we'll be doomed to achieving them and ending our lives right there. What are we wishing for? Emmanuel studies happiness by attaching the concept of happiness to what our desire is. In the book Thought in Life, Emmanuel very beautifully begins in chapter 1 describing about the departments of our mind. And he says one of the departments is the department of desire. Desire is part of us. But the question is, what am I doing with it? How is my will supervising and managing our desires? So what is my central wish? Rihanna is kindly sharing with us happiness and peace for everyone I love, the understanding that they must love and approve of themselves and everyone with good, loving thoughts. Thank you for sharing this beautiful, beautiful thought and feelings too, Rihanna. Hello, Rosie Mady. So you can safely evaluate the happiness you seek. So now Emmanuel is giving us a tool to evaluate the happiness we're seeking. What is happiness for you? Is happiness for you reading this book? Well, that's noble, but it's gonna pass, because sooner or later you're gonna be able to read it all. And then, what is happiness for us? What is the central desire we have that opens doors for connections? And he's giving us this tool. Let us make sure that our joy has many levels. I've never heard of that before. Joy having many levels? We thought joy is joy. It is on us to cultivate devotion to broader, more substantial values. Joana de Angelis, through Divaldo Franco, in the book Happy Life, she says that before we focus on ideas, we need to get to the level of ideals in life. Ideal. What is an ideal? But an ideal that is millennial, that doesn't destroy itself with the death of the body. Do you have goals for your life that are true milestones for the soul? Think about this. When babies are born, educators, parents, pediatricians, nurses, they look forward to the achievement of particular milestones. For us as immortal souls, what are the milestones that we are yet to achieve? Let us do an exercise together today. Milestones of the soul. Those that we're going to aim at and achieve, not only in one reincarnation, but in lives to come. And life will be transformed because no matter what happens, we're focused on milestones of the spirit. Can we just outline one major milestone for ourselves? Spiritual milestones. One major milestone of the spirit. What is it? What is it that we're supposed to achieve one day, and how can we envision ourselves getting there? When we open the Gospel according to Spiritism, we see at least 12. We did a study a while ago at the SSB, the Spiritist Side of Baltimore. And we observed that of all virtues, there are 12 main virtues highlighted in the Gospel according to Spiritism, addressed as stepping stones to achieve these milestones for the spirit. And we created a program to study them. 12 virtues of the soul that, if achieved and aimed at, we can achieve further milestones of the soul. What could be one? Let's give an example. A girl who aims at being less susceptible to other people's emotions, less contaminated by people's emotions. This is a milestone of the spirit, because discarnates are also influenced by other minds, no matter if we're incarnated or discarnated. Hello, Anna and Margaret, how are you? Devotion. He uses the expression cultivate devotion to broader, more substantial values, which will survive with us in a greater life. He's talking about levels of joy. He's saying, if we cannot achieve the ultimate happiness right away, we can achieve gradual levels of joy, as long as we aim at non-perishable values and goals. What are these millennial milestones that we are going to achieve sooner or later? Hopefully sooner than later. And we want to achieve, and no matter if we discarnate today, we're going to keep on going. If you think of your physical death right now, would you be sad? Would you, and I'm saying this in a broad perspective, because of course, every time there's a transition in life, it touches our hearts. But we're talking about the deep sense, the deep realization of it. Would you feel you're losing anything? Of course, incarnation is precious, but when we aim at the milestones of the spirit, one day we'll be able to transition back to the spiritual realm without feeling we have actually lost anything, because we are already awake. Thank you, Melissa, for sharing your answer. In the world, happiness varies according to an individual's position. Now he's going to compare. He's going to talk about the happiness of the world and the concept, the Christ-conscious concept on happiness. If we see Christ as our master, it's indispensable to know how to conquer the joy of living in the climate of supreme good. Many people think that the concept of joy of living was created by Joana de Angelis through Divaldo Franco. But no, it was actually brought in by Jesus. Emmanuel brought to us this concept very clearly in his books, and many other spirits through Chico Xavier. And then Joana de Angelis came along and explained to us the mechanisms through the spiritist psychology in her series of the psychological series of her studies, bridging up spiritism to psychology. But Emmanuel is telling us that when we're studying happiness, we need, it's indispensable to know how to conquer the joy of living. What is this joy of living? We need to feel it. Scale 0 to 10. Blinking. 0 to 10. What are your level of joy of living today? Today is February 12th, 2017, and we're evaluating our happiness through the measurement of joy of living. We need to conquer higher levels of it. There are gradations of joy. Where do you think you are? 0 being like zero joy of living, 10 being like maximum level of joy of living, irrespective of the material condition. Where are we? Joy of living. Where do you think you are? 0 to 10. Where are we? Because he's saying it's indispensable to achieve higher levels. If I put my central desire in buying a house, buying a car, in graduating, in getting married, having a child, have a second child, and then this, that, and the other, I'll be frustrated every day for the rest of my life. Because things are never going to flow precisely the way we expect them. There are people who are content with material comfort, he says. But he says, these people are just like other beings of other kingdoms of nature, who are content in sleeping, eating, reproducing. No difference between animals and humans in that regard. So he's saying that's not what we're aiming at. There are people who are very smart and they enjoy calculating. There are some people who pride themselves in saying, I'm very good at using money. I know how to use money. And I ask, is this really a skill for immortality? Because money stays. Yeah, the calculation skills goes on. But then what are you going to calculate? What am I going to calculate then? Priding ourselves of passing roles in life. And he says, even using to the disadvantage of others, they establish them for themselves the same happiness as madmen. And you know why he's saying this? Read the book Action and Reaction. When we talk about money, it's one of the most illustrative cases, real cases, of people attached to money and doing anything to have it, to accumulate, and the consequences. They actually become insane, spiritually speaking. And we observe companions who rejoice when they accumulate titles, socio-economic levels. They crystallize themselves in vanity and they actually cherish the happiness of the fools. Just like the parable of the rich fool, yeah, the fool rich in Luke. And he says to us, we identify brothers and sisters who only honor themselves with cruelty, and they smile at others' misfortune, and that exists on the earth. They see the misfortune of others, and they rejoice. They build their happiness on top of somebody else's difficulties. Is that happiness? You want an example of it? Read the book 2,000 Years Ago by Emmanuel. There we have a case. The case of Fulvia. She's just like that. She prides on herself of the titles, of being a Roman patrician who is the wife of a senator. And she enjoys feeling superior to others. But the end of her life is true insanity. It's madness. And the afterlife is even more cruel to her. But it's the harvest of what she sowed. But we are here seeking for the joy of living. Hello, Liz Montenegro Wilson. Talking about joy of living. Yes. And finally, Emmanuel will lead us into beautiful tools to study this beautiful happiness we are aiming at from a Christ-conscious perspective. He says, however, Christian happiness is different. It is born from the joy we sow for others. Pause. Joy we sow for others? Who teaches us that? Have your parents taught you that? Have your grandparents taught you that? Have your teachers in school taught you that? Who's been teaching that to us? Because this is really a beautiful concept and proposal. The question is, how do we bridge it up? The cultivation of this Christian happiness by sowing happiness for others. If we wake up every day thinking about fulfilling our personal goals, where are others in our goals? Daily goals. Where are they? Let's be realistic. Where are others daily inserted in our daily goals? I never forget. And I share this because through these experiences and the effects, we can tell that the daily work on the new generation can build a new world. I remember when I was little, my grandmother is the president of a Spiritist Center in Brazil, a center that is turning 100 years between this year and 2018. And she would bring my brothers and I to help in the community outreach service of the center. And I never forget, she brought to us all the children who were at risk, the children of the people who were being helped. And she sincerely told me, and my brothers, these are your siblings as well. These children are your siblings. Go play with them. And I remember seeing the kids who were the children of maids, children of people who were living in misery. And my grandmother would encourage us to go and play with them. And not only play, but she would say, they are your siblings. I never forget that. And we are living still in a world that calculates friendship. I know parents who tell their kids, yeah, let's be friends with that one because they have money, they have a beautiful house, they have a swimming pool, they have great toys. How can we actually be happy this way? Never. Talking about bad parenting, Fulvia, in Emmanuel's novel, true novel, 2,000 years ago, through Chico Xavier, he is not teaching us about his life alone. He's teaching us about what parenting is all about. He gives us two examples of a virtuous mother, Livia, raising a child, Flavia, and a poor soul, Fulvia, as a mother, destroying the potential and delaying the progress of her child. The end of both, completely different. Temporarily, Fulvia's daughter achieves the material goal she wants. But the end of both of their lives is completely different. How can we actually achieve this Christian happiness that is born from the joy we sow for others? So this is my goal every day. I say this, Emmanuel is telling us, you and I, let us make this as our goal if we want to be happy. Today, I'm going to make people happy. That's my goal. Through my work, through my daily duties, I'm going to make people happy. And you don't need to get out of your way that much. Of course we will, but not that much. Sometimes a lot, but we don't have to. It's in our home. When I wake up feeling tired, and I remember that because, you know, when you have a little kid, your nights are never full sleep. You always wake up once, twice. And I remember waking up and washing my face and saying, man, I'm so tired. But then recalling our studies here, they help me a lot. 11 p.m. every day, the workers of the last hours, as our dear mentor Joseph said, that's the reason why we're here 11 p.m. It's the last hour of the day. As good workers of the last hour, here we are. So I woke up. When I saw myself, I started singing. I'm singing in the rain on my face. Singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling. I'm awake again. Yes. And from there on, I started singing, made coffee. Woke up Carlos. Woke up Virginia. And I said, you know what? What a glorious feeling. To be alive. Body, come on. Stand up. Tall. And let us march. Because today, we got a mission. Sow happiness for others. Beginning at home. Smiling. Smile more. Right? And leave. You know, the mistakes of others. We don't need to be there like counting. Oh, I caught you. A mistake. No, leave it alone. Right? Yes, so true. So true. Thank you, Saul. Yes, a lot of people. Yes. And that's the feeling. So love. So happiness. Christian happiness is developed through non-stoppable goodness. It sprouts from the spirit of service. I'm gonna be happy. Don't worry. Be happy by making people happy. Yeah. It blooms in hope. Happiness gives fruit to those who in sacrifice offer themselves for the materialization of general happiness. So if people ask or tell you and I, oh, you should sleep more, you should go to a spa and do this, and say, thank you very much, you can go there for me, but I'm happy here. I don't need that. Of course, we love doing the nails, the hair salon, but that doesn't bring us happiness. That within, it's when we forget about ourselves and focus on others. Do you know anybody on the earth who doesn't need joy? Do you know anybody that is self-sufficient in joy? I've never met. Even Divaldo Franco. Yes, I remember him saying how often, he experienced those moments. Yes, human moments. What are you experiencing? A human moment. It's a human moment, right? And that's our goal. Thank you, Melissa, for your kind words. Yeah, find happiness, right, Constance, for others. When I wake up every day and I say, my goal is not to pay my bills, because that's not a goal. That's a duty. I'm going to fulfill it. But my goal is to pay my bills with joy and gratitude. I'm going to smile so when somebody receives that check, they feel joy. Visualize the good. Somebody receiving that check and feeling a hug. Ah, Vanessa, that's a stretch. Yeah, but love is very stretchy. Love is very stretchy. Yeah, we're co-creators. Let us stretch our creativity, because love is love. There's no limit. That's too much. No, there's never too much. And feel like somebody, you go and buy some food. Visualize the whole place full of this beautiful heart we have now on Facebook. Visualize you clicking without saying words. Everybody feeling this joy. And create your own animation of love and happiness. People may look at you and think, what is she smiling to or at? And you're just saying, life is beautiful. Why not? You are the patient and you are going to undergo surgery. Instead of being afraid, go in the spirit of service. You know how many nurses are there and they have terrible lives. Because nurses, they have one of the most demanding jobs after moms. Because moms have the toughest job on earth. But nurses, they're sleep deprived. They're overworked. When you're the patient, you have the opportunity to sit on or lay on your bed. Look at the nurse in the eye. If you don't want to say anything, smile to her or to him. Say thank you. Think about the lives that they are living at home to be there in their profession. Sometimes hours and hours. There are nurses who do like 48, 72 hours of shift so they can spend a few consecutive days with their families. What a crazy life. And we need them so much. The doctors and the pressure on the doctors. So instead of you feeling like, shaky, oh my God, I'm going to go to the doctor's a human being. Look at the doctor. You don't need to say anything, but go there and say, I want to be a good patient that makes his or her life easy. Obsessors, not now. Because this doctor does not deserve that we mess up with his life. So do not complicate the diagnosis. Right? So let us really, really use the department of imagination in our minds, the mirror of life, and visualize as if Walt Disney is painting Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Daisy, Donald Duck. We already have Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse here, right? In the United States. And I'm not going to be that funny, no, I know. But we really need an opportunity for us to use more often our imagination. Because happiness is the fruit of the sacrifice of our ego, in other words, when we're selfless. You're afraid? Fear. Antidote? Make people happy. I'm afraid of leaving my house to go to the market and do grocery shopping. Think, how many cashiers in that grocery shopping may be overworked, not having enough salary. Nobody pays attention to them. Nobody even sees their name in their badge. Mission, you're gonna go do your grocery shopping. Secondary, you will. But your goal is to say hi and say, hi, Patty, the cashier. They're gonna look at you. The other day was so funny. I was with Virginia, Carlos, Karen, Mark in a Panera Bread. And this guy came along to bring, because now they have this new service they bring to the table. And I saw that the name of the guy on the badge, as a neuroscientist, when I see the word brain, it catches my attention right away. And I was like, brain? And then I said, thank you, Brian. And I smiled at him, and he was like, yeah, my manager's so funny. He always spells my name wrong. But I said Brian, but I read brain. And it was just a funny moment. I said, thank you, Brian, for your loving brain. And there you go. We all had our moment there of laughter, a little bit of joy. We were there to nourish our bodies, and we ended up nourishing our souls. Because it's not only about us and having people serve us. We can also serve. Go to a restaurant thinking, I'm going to go there and make the day of the people. Not in a prideful way that we're going to solve people's problems. No, we are not. But we're going to bring some relief and some joy, right? As Melissa is saying, there are so many cases. They're all around us. Let us smile, say a compliment for whatever we find beautiful in them. Exactly. And that's a way of living. That's the new goal. And Emmanuel says, if you're feeling encouraged, because that's the goal of this message, studying happiness, do not delay yourself in pleasures that raise laughter today and tomorrow. It's gone. Like many people say, let's have fun. And what is fun for you? Oh, let's drink throughout the night. Drink, not water, right? Alcohol. And then next day, it's gone, right? Yeah, so that plan did not work. It doesn't work. So you don't enclose yourself in bitter penitence tomorrow. And that's bitter. Because next day we wake up like, oh my God, what have I done? What have I done? Oh, forget about the problems in your life. Let's go watch a musical concert. You have fun. The next day, where's the joy? Where's the fun? Let's go for another musical concert. And from one to the next, it becomes almost like an addiction for instant gratification that is never deeply rooted in true happiness. So he says, conclusion, let us listen to the mentor. Seek the happiness of Jesus. Was Jesus happy? Yes. Is that why they crucified him? Oh, yes. How do you feel when people are happy and you are not feeling happy? Not too happy, right? Imagine the people at Jesus' time. That person constantly smiling, helping, being beneficial to others, not asking for anything. It's like, no, this guy has to go. Go, crucify him. So we need to learn how to cherish other people's happiness. And that's a lesson in humility. In our center at the Spirit Side of Virginia, recently Mentor Joseph asked that our coordinators for the sessions of children and also the babies and toddlers, that they customize lessons on humility for kids. Why? Because we don't practice it. And one of the things that Mentor Joseph said we can practice with our babies, parents and children and youth is to rejoice when people are happy and joyful. Because usually children are like this. Oh, they have a pen, I don't, and I feel sad. We're gonna train the opposite. I am happy because you have a pen. I'm so happy to see you rejoicing with your pen, with your toy. But we need to teach by learning it ourselves, leading by example. But we need to practice it. Is that an exercise for our homework? Yes. Monday, February 13th. What are we gonna do? Rejoice with people's happiness. If people are enjoying something, stop and feel the joy yourself. That's our exercise. Visualize yourself just like that person, no matter the age of the person. The person is drinking a cup of coffee and you can tell the person is enjoying it. Don't drink yours. Feel the joy of the person, for the person, for the person. Enjoy not having it, but allowing the person to have it. And that's an exercise. Seek the happiness of Jesus, which is not yet fully understood on the earth, so that this world may rise up toward perfect happiness. You see the hope? Yes, there is hope. Third World War? No way. We're building beautiful thoughts. Beautiful thoughts. Do not despise your cross, which is your obligation every day. But only through the performance of it all in goodwill we will achieve true victory. What is the victory? Happiness. Yes? The joy of living. Because you are love and you are light and you are the joy of living. Yes, that's the song we cherish every day when we drive around. See the drivers, we practice. Singing to them. They don't know we're singing, but we're singing. For them and to them, we're saying, você é luz, você é paz, você é a alegria de viver. And then we can say in English, 'cause you are light, and you are peace, and you are joy of living. and you visualize beautiful hearts, Mickey Mouse, and the whole 9 yards of animation. Whatever you like the fairy wand bringing special magic to make people feel loved, and love is in the air. Tomorrow when we come back, we're gonna talk about another chapter that is directly correlated with our redefinition of money, which is scarcity and wealth. Ooh la la, we're going places here. Feeling more empowered? Me too. Let us sing. I love and approve of myself, right, Melissa? In ways that are pleasing to me. I love and approve of yourself in ways that are pleasing to us. You're a child of God. Many blessings. Let us rejoice and keep on feeling the joy for everyone. This Christ happiness that makes us feel that we are here to help and serve everyone. Big kiss and a hug. Thank you, friends.